Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jesse and you're watching RiverFront Aquatics. And today, I've got a real banger for you. Now, as you might recall in a previous video, we were discussing our largemouth bass in our 55-gallon tank down here. And what we're actually going to be doing is upgrading her to the pool pond that I promised you guys. Yes, I finally got it. We're going to get that set up for you guys tonight. It's already put together, partially, but we're going to build a filter and I'm taking you guys along. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. And this girl is going to finally get her new home. Alright guys, so this is our new pool pond. Right now I've got some hornwort in here, a cycled sponge filter, and you can barely see them. They're hiding kind of in the back. I've got a couple of little feeder goldfish in here. And over here is the trash can we're going to be using to build our filter. Okay, so I've went ahead and gathered up some of the tools that we're going to need to complete this job. You're going to need yourself a power drill. You're going to use that drill with these hole saw sets, and we're going to use these hole saws to drill our trash can so we can fit our 1-inch Uni Seals into our trash can. I've read that these hold water and seal up on the trash cans a lot better than the average bulkhead, so that's the route we're going to go with this. We also picked up some 90-degree 1-inch elbows, a 1-inch T-fitting. We're going to use this to build a spray bar for our filter. And we've got 2 end caps that are going to go on the end of our spray bar. Now, as far as the pump that's going to run this filter, I picked up a Marine DC pump. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think that's Jabeo? I'm not sure. DCT 4000. I picked this up off of Amazon for about $65. It's got a flow controller with it, as well as a 10-minute feed time if I wanted to pause to feed the fish and keep the pump from blowing their food all over the place. Now, it's not a must, but we're going to be using some 120 grit sandpaper. I like to use it to rough up the edges of my PVC pipe to get the cement and the primer to something to adhere to. Now, you're also going to want to pick you up a cheap Walmart trash can. A small one will do. You don't want it to come too high up on the pond. You want to be able to drill holes in it so that your pump, as it's sitting inside, will pull water through it, and if there's ever a problem with your filter and it leaks, you're not going to totally destroy your fish room. It's only going to drain down to the level where these holes are. You won't have as much water on the floor, as well as keeping water in your pond to keep all of your fish alive. Now, as we were talking about the PVC pipe, you can pick up this PVC pipe at places like Lowe's, Home Depot. These are a standard 1-inch, 5-foot PVC pipe. I've also picked up some bricks for this build, some filter floss, and 2 cheap baskets. You can pick these up at the Dollar Tree for about $1 a piece. Now, as far as our biological filtration goes, filter media, as you would call it, you can use pot scrubbies, you can use lava rock, like I'm going to use red lava rock. This is going to sit down inside of our basket and be the biological filtration for our filter. On top of it, we'll put a layer of filter floss that will build a spray bar to evenly distribute the water over the filter floss and run down over our media. Another thing you're going to want for your filter is a stand. Now, I'm going to build my stand with cinder blocks and a sheet of plywood. The sheet of plywood is going to sit on top of the cinder blocks, and this is so that the weight of the filter is distributed evenly across the blocks. Okay, so next what I'm going to go ahead and do is I've already taken my can where I would like it, and then you're going to want to take, I like to take a piece of PVC pipe and lay it up about there and trace it so I get an idea of where it's level. And I like my pipe to be kind of level with the edge of the pond as well. We'll go over to the other side without getting everything wet. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so now that we've got our holes marked and our hole saw attached to our drill, we're going to go ahead and start drilling these 2 holes. So let's go ahead and kind of get on our first one, kind of find about center of that hole, and we're going to start drilling slowly. Okay, now that we're through, we're going to make sure we got a good grip on our can and drill the rest of the way through. And there's one hole. Now we gotta get our plastic out of here. Get that out of there. Then we're gonna roll it over to the other side. Kind of find your center again. Okay, so after our holes are drilled, now that all that's left, clean them up a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and pop in our Uni Seals. It should be a pretty tight fit. There's one. We'll go over to the other side. We'll put another one of our Uni Seals in that hole. And we'll pop that one in as well. And now we have our bulkheads installed for our filter. Okay, so for this next step, we're going to install our PVC pipe that we've already cut and measured for our filter. To do this, we're going to need a rubber mallet. Then you'll position your PVC in there and start tapping it in. Okay, so now that we have our Uni Seals properly installed and our PVC pipe run through our Uni Seals, and as you can see, they're all the way through, and on the other side, we're going to take our garbage can. What I like to do with the garbage can is drill a couple of holes in here. This is going to be the water level that it stops the pump at if there is a failure or a leak. So I'm gonna leave our 1-inch hole saw on there. You can go bigger if you like, but we're just gonna put a couple of little holes in the side here. Probably 2 on each side ought to do the job. Go kind of right next to it. I want to put another one right here. Okay, so we've got 2 holes on this side. I'm going to come around and I'm going to put 2 on this side. Now that our holes are drilled, I'm going to go rinse our bucket out real quick, and then I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do next. Okay, so now that we're all rinsed off, because we're going to be setting our pump in here, you're going to want to put something in here for your pump to sit on. Also to weigh this down, because if you have larger fish in your pond, they may hit this, tip it over with your pump in it. We don't want that. So I'm going to use a flat rock that I had from an old aquarium project. This is going to be my weight to hold this down. Sits in there kind of nicely, actually. Okay, so next we're going to open up our new pump. I've never used one of these. I'm super stoked and excited about it. Okay, so we've got instructions. Who needs those? We've got our fittings. Probably going to need those. Got our controller. We're going to be gentler with this one. our plug. Be rough with that. What is this? I don't like surprises. Power supply for your plug. Be a little gentler with that. This is the beast we're looking for right here. This is our pump. And now I'm going to show you guys why I decided to go with the 1-inch PVC. So now at this point, you've probably made a little bit of a mess in your fish room. But we're going to take our pump. It's got a pipe adapter fitting on here for a 1-inch PVC. Here's a piece of 1-inch PVC for an example. We're going to slide our PVC right onto that, and then this is going to sit right on top of our weighted rock. We've got our pump and we've got our PVC running up. Now, as you can see, the holes that we drilled are going to allow your pump to pull water into your filter. And if there is a problem with the filter, the pump is only going to drain enough water that's in this bucket. Once the water level is below the holes on that bucket, the pump is no longer going to suck any more water from your pond, thus not draining your pond and keeping your fish alive. So you're also going to want to take the lid to your trash can and drill another hole and install another Uni Seal in this trash can lid. With this, we're going to install a short piece of PVC pipe with another 90-degree elbow. This is going to run out the lid and over with another 90-degree elbow down to our pump. Now, after we've got our PVC installed in our lid, you're going to want to knock it in enough to leave yourself a little room on the end. This is where we're going to install our T-fitting for our spray bar. Now, for our spray bar, what we're going to do is we're going to take and adapt our T-fitting right on top. Now, these I'm not going to seal up because I want to be able to disassemble them if need be to maintenance the filter. And we're going to want to cut 2 pieces of PVC pipe relatively about the same length to come out on each side. These we're going to install our end caps on the ends of, and I'll show you this as soon as we're finished. Okay, so now that we've got our spray bar installed in the bottom of our lid, I'm going to go ahead and take a drill, and we're going to drill some random holes in the bottom of this PVC pipe. I'm not going to drill directly into the T-fitting, but I'm going to drill into the pipe itself. So once you've got your holes drilled, they don't have to be perfect. You can make them any random pattern you want, just as long as they're facing the bottom where they're going to be hitting your filter floss and your media. And the lid and the spray bar is done. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to run a pipe up from our pump to this pipe and the top of our can. Okay, so what I've done here is I've gone ahead and taken our 90-degree cap, and I'm going to hold it up there, measure it about how deep I want it to come in to the cap, and I'm going to mark it so I know that's where I want to cut my pipe for my 90-degree cap. Okay, so next what you're going to need to do is I went ahead and attached one of the PVC pipes to our pump, ran it straight up, and then connected the other PVC to our top of our filter. Now, what I like to do in this situation to make sure they're as closely lined up as I can get them is I like to, with that pipe connected to the pump, I'll bring it up and I'll take a Sharpie and kind of mark about where I want to make my cuts for the next 90-degree angle. Now, this is going to ensure that you get the right cut the first time. Now that we've got our pipe cut, the only thing left to do is to connect it with our 90-degree fitting. So now that we've got our 90-degree fitting on the top of our can, run straight across, another 90-degree that will turn down and go straight to our pump, we are now ready to start sanding our pipe and priming and cementing these ends. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect all these. We're going to take some sandpaper and we're going to sand the edges so that we have a good secure bond, because I don't want this pipe to come apart. I don't mind if this one can come apart, but I'm only going to cement one side. So the side that comes in, I will cement, but the side that goes down, I will not. So I've taken some of our spare PVC pipe that we had and our extra two 90-degree angles, and I made a turn down pipe for these. We've also got this cemented in and this cemented in. I didn't cement the spray bar because I want to be able to take it apart if need be so that I can maintenance this filter. We're going to take our bricks, we're going to make a block down here that our laundry baskets are going to sit on top of. So once we've got our laundry baskets in here sitting on top of our 4 bricks we put into place, we are now ready to rinse our lava rock to go in this basket, guys. Okay, so since our lava rock's going to be sitting inside of this basket, I'm going to go ahead and use the same basket to rinse off our lava rock and get it good and clean for our filter. I'm going to open up our bag. And we're going to dump a bunch of it, maybe this whole bag, right in here. And then we're going to start rinsing. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit, get a couple cups of water, dump it across the top, get it good and rinsed off, and then I'll pick you guys back up when we get back to our filter. Okay, so I'm going to bring you guys over to this tank. This is just a fry tank, but I also house some good media in here. This media we're going to use to help seed our filter, and we're going to lay this bag of media right on top of our lava rock. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this cycled bag of media and put it in our bucket. Okay, so now that we're back in the pond room, we're going to go ahead and take our cycled media. I'm just going to throw it kind of right on the top here and the sponge in a random spot, just so that we've got some cycled media on top to help seed this lava rock. Next, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab your polyfill or filter floss, and we're going to go ahead and cut us a piece and lay it right on top of this basket. Okay, so now that our polyfill is in, we're going to go ahead and reconnect our lid, and we're going to kick this on and see how she's running. Okay guys, so we'll give this a second to start running now that everything's hooked up. And our pond filter is up and running. Alright guys, so now that our pond and our filter are completely set up, we're going to let these run for about a month or so and let this pond get fully cycled for our bass. And then I will be bringing you guys back when we add the bass to our new pond. I'm going to flip this around and let you guys check out the completed project. Thanks for watching.